Yeah. Ooh.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I looked. I was
Ultra Necrozma. There's a full art Dragonite that I've seen. Okay.
We picked up a Dragon Majesty ETB this past week.
Yeah.
And that's not all.
Yeah, we guys, we bought over $300,000 worth of product this week. Last week.
That's why we didn't film last week.
Yeah,
it's not because we had technical difficulties.
Correct. That has nothing to do with it. That was
2 weeks ago. No, last week was planned off. We people need some time off occasionally, so we had to do a little bit of a detour.
Yeah, so instead of doing the podcast that was scheduled off, we turned around and we decided to reach out to our local community and help a couple collectors offload. 2 different U-Haul box trucks came in last week, and we went through about 520 different SKUs of Pokemon product, going all the way back to Dragon Majesty. I guess that was a Sun and Moon set. Not a lot of hits in it.
I think the bank thinks that we're laundering money.
It doesn't help that when I walk in there, people ask me what I do and I deposit cash, and I get tired of telling them, so I just tell them I do cocaine. We probably need to strike that from the podcast, Jack. In fact, that probably was not a good idea for me to say that in a public forum. Yeah, I wonder. I point them over to the store because the bank's literally just right over there.
Yeah, no, it's you actually had. Now, did you find those collections, or did a couple of customers point them in our direction?
So the bigger one was posted on Facebook, and within 3 minutes of it being posted on Facebook, one of our customers texted us and said, "Hey, reach out to this guy." The other guy I found, he had listed online, and
both great people. The short amount of time that I spoke with them, they were both awesome.
Yeah, and both of the deals did not come together in the same way that we had anticipated when we saw like the inventory. Both of them we had to navigate through some differences in counting and then some different values, and the rationality on both ends of that was fantastic. Anyway, okay, here we are, episode 6. Episode 6 of the podcast. Welcome to the Minty Road. Excited to be back. Excited to have everything set up. Consistently improving. A couple of things we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about some news. There's some new products that were listed at EUIC, not listed, but that were revealed at EUIC concerning some upcoming, TCG products, some sleeves, some mats, some hats, deck boxes. We're going to walk through a hot list with Trav's data, and then, of course, end it with everyone's favorite segment, Tinker Time. So,
Tinker Time!
Yeah. So this past weekend was EUIC. That is the second large-scale Pokemon trading card game tournament in a season. So the first one was LAIC. This is the second one, EUIC, which is Europe. And then the third one will be NAIC, which is in New Orleans in June. One of the main differences there is it attracts a bunch of competitors to come play. But as opposed to a regional where if you win, you get your world's invite. In this, if you place in the top 4, you automatically get a world invite. So that's kind of the benefit to the competitors. And it's not just the card game. They also have the video game competition, and then they also have Pokemon Go. They spread it out over 3 days, and so on Sunday it really is the championship day, and so they highlight the juniors that are up there playing and the seniors, and then the Masters tournament. So while they were there, they knew they had the attention of everybody in Pokemon. They released these really cool black and gold tinted products. So it shows the back of Gengar against, Jack, help me, is Nidoran?
Nidorino.
Oh, Nidorino, my bad. And so they have a hat, they have sleeves, they have a deck box, and they have a mat, a play mat.
Super
it's supposed to
nostalgic.
be reminiscence of the original first battle that you get on the Game Boy on Pokemon Red.
I was going to say that.
Oh.
No. I'm just teasing.
But it's supposed to be part of the anniversary collection.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so let's run through that because it's been 5 years since anybody's really paid attention to an anniversary collection. We have the announcement coming up next Friday. A week from Friday is Pokemon Day. We know that it's coming. They released a logo for it. We have a collection for Pokemon Day. So we anticipate there to be some level of an anniversary set, right? Are we all on the same page there? Or?
Well, if you follow the Poke Twitter, there's about a bazillion cards that are leaking that's going to come out that probably aren't coming out, but they're fan created. That I think they all look awesome.
Yeah.
Did you see the ones where they took the starters and they kind of put them in the illustration rare?
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones were dope.
Yeah. So China is releasing illustration rares for the starters. All 9 generations. Is it all 9?
So it starts with Series 1, which is, I forget the gens. I'll throw them up on the screen. But those are confirmed in English as well.
Okay.
And then if we're tracking proper with other anniversary sets, I don't know if I get this right, 20th and 25th, but one dropped in September and one dropped in October. So it's pretty likely we're going to get ours in October.
The 20th was released in September of 16, and then the 25th was released in October of 21. So
tracking wise.
So are we confident that Pokemon is going to release a 30th anniversary special collection set somewhere in Q4 of 2026?
I think it's already been trademarked.
Yeah.
It's Celebration Collection.
Okay.
That's what they're calling it.
Okay.
Last cycle, they did the first partner packs that had the jumbo cards, and so we actually have them up on our wall. It's all the generation starters, all 27 of them.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty cool. It came with 2 packs, had an Evolving Skies and a Battle Style.
Yeah.
And so about a year ago, we had one of our distributors say, hey, we found an extra pallet of these in the warehouse. Who wants them? And this is kind of before the market got like super crazy where I was able to say, give me all of them. And they couldn't give me all of them, but we got a couple cases of them. And so, the cool thing is that nobody knew they had Evolving Sky packs in there.
Okay.
So it was like, there's like 12 in a case. And so, you buy them. And of course, they charged over market for them, but I didn't care because it had Evolving Skies in the pack. So that was pretty sick.
Speaking of jumbo cards, there was something that's happened since the last time we got together. It's not on the agenda here, but I thought I'd just bring it up. Pokemon did a collab with the London equivalent of the Museum of Modern Art. I don't know what they call it. Cultural museum there in London. And instead of the Pikachu with gray felt hat, right? Instead of that promo that they did, it's a jumbo card, which then, in my opinion, reduces the desirability of the card because it's jumbo, but it still is able to celebrate a pretty cool collab between Pokemon and Museum of Natural History. Sorry, it took me like 6 iterations in my head to be able to get there, but I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so if we have a anniversary set being released in September or October, and today is February 17th, we know that Perfect Order comes out March 20th. That means that we've got roughly 6 months between what has been released officially and what we guess is happening with the 30th anniversary set. So there is room there for maybe 2 or 3 more sets. Trav, not sure if you're aware of this, but in Japan, they officially released the information that on May 22nd, Abyss Eye will drop, which has a Mega Darkrai in it, in May, and then Storm Emeralda, which is Mega Rayquaza, will release on July 31st. So just based on how things currently work, it looks like the Darkrai set could be around July, and the Rayquaza set is around September, unless it's just a Gen 3 specialty set. So how do you feel about the Perfect Order? We know how you feel about Perfect Order, right? Then the next set is called Chaos Rising.
Yep.
It's coming out. It'll have Greninja in it.
Greninja.
Yep. And depending on what the SIR for that is, now there have been some leaks of it, but it's not been confirmed, right? So we got Chaos Rising. And then how do you feel about a Mega Darkrai themed set? What if it's just like a spooky set? Maybe it's Lost Zone, maybe it's not.
They did that a little bit with Shroud of Fable.
Yeah.
And are we thinking that's specialty or core? That's a special. It can't be specialty back to back.
Yeah, I think it's core.
30th.
Yeah, I think it's core. I think
we've
these
had
next few are
Perfect
core.
Order, Chaos Rising, and then they have to have another core set.
Yeah, I think so.
Because they're not going to do Ascended, Celebrations, and a third specialty.
They did do 151,
Mm-hmm.
and then turn around and did SV4, and then 4.5 is Fates.
Paldean Fates.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had two special. They only had one core set in between two specialty sets, but I'm just saying that they're not going to do 3 specialty sets in one calendar cycle.
Yeah. So how do you feel about a Mega Darkrai set as an OG collector? Sure. Yeah, you're okay with it.
Yeah,
you're fine with it.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. I mean, it depends on.
Of course.
What's the saying? One card does not make a set.
Okay, fair.
Unless you're Obsidian Flames.
Then it's one Pokemon. We were joking
and if
about
you're perfect order, there's no cards in that one. That's just you just skip that.
We were joking about earlier. It's like Pokemon knows the recipe, right? And they try something new, right? They did Paldea Evolved, and it had all the SIRs of Wo-Chien, Ting-Lu, Chi-Yu, and Chi and Pao, right? Great looking cards. Great artists did them. Nobody cared. So what they do, they went right back to the recipe, which is Charizard. And so then Obsidian Flames. What do you got? You got 4 Charizards. You got a regular. You got a full art. You got a gold. You got the SIR. Okay.
We do have the Mega Zygarde Premium Collection coming out here. That's available for pre-order at Distro right now.
Okay.
So I don't know how that plays into players, but it's got pack lineups looking like Perfect Order, Phantasmal Flames, and I can't tell. Mega Evolution.
When does it drop? Same day as Perfect Order in March, or is it end of March?
I don't know.
Okay. But okay, here was where I was really leading to.
May 22nd.
Okay. If you had to bet between which 2 sets will be better, only knowing the main headliner Pokemon, do you think Mega Darkrai will be better than Mega Rayquaza, or do you think Mega Rayquaza will be better than Mega Darkrai? Which set do you think would be?
The Rayquaza set.
Of course, right?
Yeah.
Right? You just said that one Pokemon doesn't make a set, but I mean...
It took him longer than I thought it would.
Yeah. I was just thinking. I was like, where's the trap at?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we do have some, in my opinion, we've been talking about this now for a couple months, just about, man, where is the SIR of fan favorites? And we just had a guy in here yesterday, this is perfect for this. And all he wanted to know was, where were my Rayquazas? And so as we walked around and showed the Rayquaza from Evolving Skies, the one from the Trainer Gallery from Silver Tempest, we got a couple damaged Mega Rayquazas from the early XY sets. And man, he was just stoked to be able to see it. And he said, when's the next Rayquaza coming out? And I was like, well, there's one in the current set. It's just a common, right? And there's just nothing there. God forbid you be a Lugia fan. Or even Kyogre and Groudon, right? Like Groudon got an IR. Kyogre didn't, right?
Yeah, Kyogre got skipped.
Yeah. Good. Well done. Hope Kyogre isn't your homie.
You've got we're assuming a Gen 3 specialty set coming this year. So
yeah, we're hoping for that. Still no beautiful looking Gyarados. Still don't have a nice looking Gyarados. Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of what's coming down the pipeline. We do have, by the time you're watching this, it should be ETB release weekend for Ascended Heroes. Probably will be nuts there. We are generally all sold out from Wave 1. They had to split between Wave 1 and Wave 2. I don't think we'll have many in store. If
no, this is like the 4th cycle that they've done that, Wave 1 and Wave 2.
Yeah. Well, they did it before, and they didn't tell us. And
yeah.
So it depends on when they told us they were going to do it.
But
right?
the Wave 2, 3 weeks later, I have a theory of what's been happening here on this. And when the market got so crazy where the prices for the core set products and the specialty sets, when they came out, were already, above MSRP, the Wave 2 is actually not your typical Wave 2. They don't normally do Wave 2s, but the Wave 2 that would come 3 or 4 weeks after a core set drop would be your restock wave.
Yeah.
And so as a LCS, being able to get, Paradox Rift or, more Destined Rivals or more Surging Sparks, they would go back an 18-month window, and you wouldn't know what they're going to print, right? But it's just hey, I would always have distributors that would be we've got this bundle or we've got this coming in on restock, or put your pre-orders in for it because we got confirmation these are coming. That's all but stopped.
Yeah.
Correct. We don't get any of that stuff. And so I think what Pokemon did with the Wave 2 is they just said, hey, we normally are going to print X number of product anyways for your back, your replenishments. Let's just put that back into another wave of the core because the core waves aren't enough.
Correct.
And so what that's done, though, is that it's taken me a long time to kind of catch up here, but the expectation that you're going to have a huge opportunity to rebuy core product in the future, it's looking less and less to me.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of a Destin Rivals restock here. You know, they put Destin Rivals in a lot of the boxes and tins, and so there was a flush on that. But the idea that you're going to get the opportunity to buy, 60, as an LCS I'm talking, 60 or 100 booster boxes of Destin, I haven't seen that opportunity in over a year.
Yeah, so I've had this thought too. Around the holiday time of 2024 going into 2025, they revealed a bunch of collection boxes. There was a Blood Moon Ursa Luna box. There were some Q4 tins. And inside of those tins, you had an amalgamation of Paradox Temporal, Twilight, Stellar Crown, and some Surging. Surging had just been released. There was a bunch of Stellar Crown single packs in those products. You remember that when we were sitting on a bunch of Stellar Crown singles?
Yeah.
But they never released like a secondary to LCS ability to buy booster boxes of Stellar Crown. Mm-hmm. But then since then, Surging has had a reprint. Twilight Masquerade has had enough that...
Twilight had a big one, I will say, but that was kind of on the trailing end of the whole shift because that could have already been pre-planned.
Correct.
That could have already been kind of in the hopper for some time.
So that's where I wanted
we got like 375 ETBs of Twilight allocated to us, and we took them all, and we've been putting them in hit boxes, and we probably have like 100 still in the warehouse.
It's almost 150.
Yeah.
But also, Twilight sleeves are local in our grocery store. So I can walk into the grocery store and for $4.99 or whatever it is, $5.99, buy a sleeve of Twilight, like as of this weekend. And so part of that reprint has taken so long for it to make it through the different channels of distributorship for some of it to hit, but it wasn't booster boxes.
Well, the Twilight was so available on sleeved. I remember a season that's all I could get at distro was sleeved cases, and we had bought. I think on the Twilight, I had like 40 or 50 sleeved cases as part of the. Like we talked in a previous episode, like the percentage of packs that we get relative to the product type. I want to say Twilight sleeved was like 40+% of all the packs.
Yep.
And then when Surging came out, they stopped doing sleeved.
Yep.
Everything was booster boxes and ETBs.
And as a reminder, Twilight is SV6. 7 was Stellar Crown. And in my opinion, Stellar Crown never got a reprint. I think they did a lot of singles, and they threw it in some products there at the end of the year in 2024. But it never got a reprint for ETBs. They did do a reprint of Pokemon Center ETBs that they released online that had a little bit of an impact. But they reprinted Twilight, and then Twilight, and then they reprinted Surging. So Twilight is 6, Stellar is 7, 8 is Surging. They reprinted Surging. I'm not including the specialty sets. 9 is Journey. Journey's in almost every current EX box that's out there. All the Black Friday boxes have Journey in it. Destined is 10. And then, what's 11?
There's no 11.
Is 11 special? Is it 10 and a half goes to Black and White?
Yep.
Yeah, so 10. So if you were to find a collection box out in the market right now, and I'm talking like a Melmetal EX or a Greninja and whatever EX or any of those boxes right now, Venusaur, Mega Venusaur EX, you're going to see some Destined, you're going to see some Surging. Even the Mega Charizard X UPC has Journey, Surging, and Destined in it, right? And so those packs are out there. Haven't really seen the opportunity from distributors to buy them in booster boxes or booster bundles or any of that. But they're out there in force in singles. And this is where I wanted to ask you, because I think this is potentially new information for you. Jack and I went down a rabbit hole about 10, 12 days ago where we tried to estimate how many Pokemon cards are printed in English every year. And there's a lot of assumptions that we made here, so if I'm wrong, just tell me how wrong I am in the comments. But for sake of this conversation, there are 5 billion English Pokemon cards printed every year. And in 2025, there were 5 sets. So that means 1 billion cards per set. 1 billion cards per set, you've got 11 in a pack. You're talking a significant amount of individual packs. And the reason we went down that road,
10.2 billion cards.
but that's not just English.
Okay, that's just
And
globally.
so if you ask the next question, which is how many of those are English, it's going to tell you 40 to 60%. And so we estimated, 5 billion of those, and the information that you have from distributors about them reducing the booster boxes puts me down a path of, okay, so what is the percent change here? Is it, from an operational standpoint, is it easier for them to print cards and put them in packs and then distribute those packs to go into different products than it is to simply just put them in a booster box? And if they're going to reduce the amount of booster boxes out there, there must be some, key performance indicator that's stating that booster boxes aren't selling as well as, the other SKUs that those booster packs are in. Or does it allow them to shore up low performing sets by adding a high performing set in a collection box with that so that people buy it? Which seems all that seems rational, but my challenge is right now is if Pokemon is the top level distributor and they're distributing to the people we are the distributors that we're in relationship with, in addition to big box stores, if they're the gatekeeper for that stuff, aren't their KPIs just off the chart that they have no product around, right? Like, why would they be trying to make something super efficient? So then the next question was, and here's where I wanted your input. I think they're 5-6 months out on their printing. I think they're printing things right now. I think they're printing the Celebrations collection right now. And so
That's what
I would agree with that.
we talked about that. It's like 9 months.
Yeah, it's tough for them to be as their latency, the amount of time it takes them to be reactionary to the market. The market, if they make a decision now, the rationale and justification for making that decision may not be a variable 9 months from now when them having made that decision catches up to reality. And so, when they decide to pull back the number of prints on booster boxes, or if they're deciding that, hey, we're going to do a reprint of Journey, and then 9 months later, Journey tanks, and everybody's like, why is Journey in every single box? Why did they pick that one? They had to make that decision a long time ago. There is a thing, too, also on just the limiting factor. Like, the limiting factor for Pokemon to print more is what? And in my opinion, it's the packs, it's the cards themselves is the limiting factor. And the rationale to go away from booster boxes, to pull back booster boxes a bit, is that the packs that would go in booster boxes can be more plentiful in other packaging. So if you put those more in boxes that go to big box retail, you're increasing the odds that somebody gets that product into their hands.
Yeah.
And so you can offshore the packaging of the product in the form factor.
Yeah.
So in a V box or in a tin or in a lunch box, I don't think that's the limiting factor. I think that we've got 1 billion packs on this set that needs to go out there. Our response is, what packaging do I put these 1 billion packs in? And what do I do to ensure that more unique people have a higher frequency of getting our product? And so going away from booster boxes and going towards tins and everything else, I think that the funnel is more people actually get their hands on that product.
Yeah, and it's driving down the price point of the item because a booster box retails $164.99 or whatever, right? And so if you take,
it's more accessible.
Yeah, if you, instead of having 3 different sets at $164 for 3 SKUs for 3 different booster boxes, you could do whatever it is, 18 EX boxes at $39.99 and throw in some additional packs and have your price point be lower, which then would also drive the same level of accessibility. That makes sense.
There was also a time, too, where we're talking about Pokemon having like a 9-month latency in the data. In the middle, right before Surging Sparks really kind of popped things off a little over a year and a half ago now, the tins, the build and battle stuff, the collection boxes, none of that stuff was moving. That was all sitting at distributors. And so when you looked at what was still available, booster boxes weren't available, ETBs weren't available. There were some products ETBs were available on, but far and away, all of basically the things that we're saying right now that they're moving back to get product on the shelf, that stuff was all kind of just sitting.
Yeah.
And so we had this season where booster boxes just popped off. It started being a much more concentrated, like the Destined Rival, Journey Together. We got way more, a Mega Evolution even, we got way more booster boxes than we normally did. Yeah. And I think now it's like a yo-yo. They saw it, they changed it, and now it's like, oh, we went too heavy. Yeah. Now we got to move back, and them moving back just takes a little bit too long.
Yeah, and because by the time the market's adjusted to what the normal is, you have like a 4 or 5 month additional lag between any decision that Pokemon has made for it to be implemented. There's just a lag there. Okay, talking about latency and data and being able to make decisions. Let's talk through, let's transition over here, Trav, to your hot list. So which one are we talking about today?
So let's do our episode of Pokenomics. And we want to talk about the cards that are on the marketplace today from Sun and Moon to current, where you're going to pay the highest dollar jump from what TCG Player calls his market price to what you can actually buy the card for. So these are not necessarily buying opportunities. These are, hey, if you are a collector, you hold this card, be aware that market price isn't market price for this card, and your card is actually way more valuable than what you think, and it's because there's none for sale until the next higher price point.
So let's touch as quickly as I can on how TCG market price is determined. Mm-hmm. So it is some math equation that involves how many have sold, at what price they've sold, and how recently they've sold. And so it's either depending on the sales velocity, if you've got 100 items selling per day, I'm assuming that that's like a 5 or 6 day rolling average where they throw out the highest and the lowest, because sometimes you get people that will list on a product or a card a Japanese variant or a Korean variant or a Chinese variant at a much lower price. So there is some noise that gets in that data. It's not just a strict moving average. But on lower sales velocity cards, it's rather difficult for that same assumption of 100 sales per day versus 1 per 100 days. And so these cards that we've got here will kind of highlight that for us. So, Trav, what's the first one you got on your list?
Yeah, so the first one, we'll talk about the Pikachu gray felt hat.
Yeah, it's your favorite promo.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of anti-crowd. I mean, it's a cool card, but when there's like 100,000 of them, I don't know the exact number.
Yeah.
The craze came out, and it kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. So I've kind of stayed away from this card personally. I should probably pick this one up actually, because look, the price just keeps going up. But right now it's $528 the market price. Okay, so if you're at a trade show, if you're trying to say, hey, what's my card work? If you're in like Collector, I don't know what Collector has it listed for, but most profile tools that track your collections, they're going to rely on, market price or a proxy thereof. And this one is actually, if you look at this one, lowest listing is $650. And so you've got a $120 some swing from what they say market price is and what reality is if you were actually to go and buy this card today. That's a pretty substantial movement in price. And so you can see there were some buyouts here. So in the middle of December, 16 items sold. And there's not a huge level of weekly velocity. I mean, we're talking 6 to 7 of these sold in a given week, maybe 10. And so they're being sold. I mean, it's a liquid card. If you own this card and you listed this on TCG Player, as long as you're lowest listed, you're probably selling this card within 2 or 3 days. And so, maybe even same day. It just depends on when the sales come in. But yeah, this one's going up in price. And I'm kind of surprised that this one still has the long-term collectability. Like, there's 100,000 of these that exist.
There are 104,000 that have been graded at PSA.
And this isn't even raw, right? 104,000.
Yeah. So there is on PSA, it says there are 22 that they authorized, which means that they are authenticated, which means that they are still in the cellophane when they sent it in, right? Mm-hmm. And then there are 103,998 that have a higher grade than that. So that includes the 27 ones.
How many 10s?
46,506.
Compare that, just as an example, other huge chases that have been around since this card. Look up the Magic Carp from Paldea Evolved, and look up the Umbreon from Prismatic. I just want to give a little bit of context on the sheer volume that we're talking about. This Pikachu card probably has a 10x higher number of PSA 10s versus the Umbreon or the Magikarp, is my guess.
So let me scroll down here. I just got into Paldea. The Magikarp has 22,000 total
it's
graded.
5x.
And
Oh, that's total graded.
that's total graded. And in a 10, yeah, I was right.
It's going to be hard because the illustration rares are hard to get
Yeah,
in 10.
in a 10, that card has 3,800.
So 3,800 PSA 10s in the Magikarp versus 40,000, 46,000. Yeah. So this is the one that really boggles my mind because is this card 11 times, 14 times more collectible from a user perception? Like you've got over 10 times more Magikarps in a 10, even with all of that print. Like this promo was printed to the moon, everybody wants it, and it's still $650. And the price is still jumping. Like, look, the last sale on this particular card was $649. So it's not just that lowest listed is $649. Somebody just bought it for $649.
14,374 total Umbreon EXs with 4,400 PSA 10s.
So three times more Pikachu felt houts than Umbreons in a 10.
No, 10 times. There's 4,400 PSA 10s.
4,400 PSA 10 Umbreons.
Yeah, and there's 45,000.
And think of the sheer numbers there. What just seems so weird to me is how are there not more listed? Like if you had that many collectors, and that many collectors needed to kind of liquidate their collection, come up with money, like how is there only on this card 30 sellers on TCG Player?
Yeah, and there's only 36.
Everybody that owns this card is holding. Like this card has reached that pinnacle of pop culture
everybody
that
that
nobody's
owns this
selling.
card has it graded.
Everybody sent their in. But okay, so let's look up price charting. Yeah, this is where the difference between raw and a 10. So it's $2,000 in a 10. You still have over a 3x arbitrage from raw to 10.
Yep.
And there's 5 sales per day.
So there's
PSA
one sale
10.
raw, and there's a 5x velocity on a PSA 10.
But okay, so 5 sales a day in a given month. Just assume 5 sales per day. You got 150 sales.
Yeah.
This is a great data analysis. I don't have this data, but this would be fantastic. Number of PSA 10s proportionally to the number of sales velocity. This would determine the buyers, sellers, and holders. So this card has 46,000 10s, but it has 5 sales a day. So as a percentage, you have 150 sales a month. What percentage of the population is being flipped? This is the turnover rate.
That's a third of a percent. Not 3%, but a third of a percent.
Yeah, so
every
0.003%.
Yep. So every 3 months, 1% is being flipped if you had 5 per day.
Yeah, only 1% of population.
Okay, so
flips.
let's go look at the Magic card.
Yeah, I want to see.
Right.
I want to see the velocity on the churn. This would be collectability churn if there was a metric that I had to call it.
So Magikarp, by the way, PSA 10 is $2,350, so it's more expensive than the Pikachu. But raw, it's $260, so it's a third of the price raw, and it's more expensive than.
It's a 10x arbitrage.
Yeah.
This is only a 3x arbitrage.
Correct. There's one sale per day, and so if you do 30 divided by 4,500, that's 2x the sales velocity of the Pikachu with Gray Felt Hat. It's 2/3%.
Yeah. So the Magikarp. So Magikarp has a double churn rate.
Yep.
From collector. So I'm just saying, hey, think of it this way. You got 46,000 holders. Like if this is Bitcoin, if this is crypto, right? Holders hold. You have 46,000 holders. That's assuming that every card is tied with one collector.
Right. It wasn't
there could be 2 guys that own 10,000. The thing with crypto is that you can track everybody's wallet.
Yeah.
You can see what lives in the wallet. You can't do that in Pokemon, right? So I don't know. I mean, this might be some dude that spent $5 million that's got 10,000 of these just sitting. But let's just assume that there's 46,000 unique holders of this. The amount of those people that are deciding to flip it and sell their card is twice as low as those that own the Magikarp.
Yeah.
That seems backwards to me.
Yeah.
Considering there's 46,000 of these.
Everybody wants to keep that. Everybody wants to keep that Pikachu. Maybe it's like the screen
The
versions.
staple of their collection.
Yeah, maybe it's the centerpiece.
Yeah.
Because they were able to beat the bots or whatever and get one, or maybe they were there. I don't know.
Maybe I'm just different. I mean, why? What's so special to own the card that everybody wants, that everybody has, that
I got
already has
one.
46,000?
I got one by accident.
Yeah.
I just ordered something randomly from Pokemon Center one day, and they sent me one. And at the time, it was like $150 card, and I traded it. So I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't care for it.
Yeah, but that brings up an interesting point that we've never discussed, which is what I guess we have a little bit. What drives the market value / desirability of a card? Once again, you said something that I'm going to anchor to, Trav, which is centerpiece of your collection. So the centerpiece of my collection is a raw.
You don't own it yet.
What is it?
The Giratina.
No, I haven't.
Oh, the 10?
No, that's what I say. It's the raw.
Yeah.
If I owned it, yeah, that would be it. But the raw Lost Origin Giratina Altar, that is the centerpiece of what I have. And I don't really care what the value is of that card. The value fluctuation of that card doesn't make me like it more or less. And so, what is the centerpiece of your collection, sealed or raw?
Probably the Latios Lovebirds in a 10.
Yeah.
I traded my entire PSA 9 first edition base set, common and uncommon, and trainer set for it. So I had card number 17 to 102.
Okay.
So what's that? 85
Yeah.
85 slabs, all in PSA 9, all from the original base set, in not shadowless, in actual first edition. It was about an even swap. It was about $8,000 was the market price in comps. The thing about that set that I traded though would be the replacement time for me to curate that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it takes, because sometimes those things, even though it's like a oddish PSA 9 or a Growlithe, you might only see one of those pop up for sale in 3 months.
Yeah.
But it's going to sell for like $80.
Yeah.
People aren't collecting it.
So
I switched that to the Latios.
Now, once again, whatever the market value is of the Lovebirds in a 10, for lack of a better term, be damned. Is it the centerpiece because it's because you like the card? Is it the centerpiece because of what you had to sacrifice or trade to get it? Or is it because it's the value?
So there's two different answers. This is a great point, because I said that's the centerpiece because that's the slab that I own that's the most valuable.
Okay.
So value derives what we perceive as collectors. This is like psychology.
Yeah.
If you ask me the card that I own that I'm the most fond of, that's like, if every card was equal price, which one do I like the most? I don't even know that answer.
Yeah.
Like yours is the Giratina because you just love that character.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'd have to think about this here for a minute.
And if I don't have much sealed, and it's not because of a value, but I do have all the Pokemon centers. When we first started having conversations about Pokemon, you suggested that I should get Pokemon Center ETBs if I was going to do something. So I did that. And so I have all of them in Scarlet and Violet. Now, the last 5 or 6 gave me a ton of gray hairs and heartburn because of the amount of people that also wanted to get one for the resellability. But having that full 18 ETB set, or however many it is, I think is fantastic. But once again, that's from a value. I'm insensitive to what the value is of that. It doesn't matter to me that the 151 is $900. It's my least favorite of what they look like. My actual favorite is the Journey Together and the Shrouded Fable because of the contrast of the colors and how they put it together. And I think they really, I think they really screwed up on the Black Bolt and White Flare because they're not very cool looking, and they could have been. And so, once again, as we talk about values of cards, there's a good question for you to ask yourself, dear listener, which is, what are you going for? Are you trying to impress other people by your collection? That's A. B, are you trying to increase value? That's all of these are fine. These are fine answers. Or C, are you really collecting what you want to collect? And not that you're going to be irresponsible with your money and make bad choices, but Shinji Kanda did the Giratina in Lost Origin. I became a fan of him, collected all of his cards, commons, uncommons, everything. And then Prismatic came out and he did the Roaring Moon. And I had to get my hands on a Roaring Moon. And it has never been a good financial decision. And I probably
You
won't
bought it early.
Yeah, and I probably won't recover from that financial decision for probably 6 or 7 years. But I'm indifferent because it's such a cool card to me.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it to have the value go up. It's
You also surprised me when you bought the black Zekrom at that show that we went to.
yeah.
You know, I thought that was a little early, you buying that, but
Yeah.
I didn't know what was the draw of the Zekrom. You traded a bunch of Galarian Gallery stuff.
I did. So I had previously picked up from the celebrations the Zekrom and Reshiram, and through trading I had picked up the original from Black and White Zekrom and Reshiram, and with the new ones coming out, I thought, well, I'll just complete
Yeah.
the set. And so my difficulty was I would rather overpay and have it
Yeah.
than have it go up in value and never get it. Because the money becomes the limiting factor. But for me, once again, I don't even think about that card as being cool or whatever. I just know that I wanted to have it.
So now that we kind of went down this rabbit trail,
Yeah.
back to the gray felt hat. If you had to guess, what's the driving factor on the 46,000 PSA 10 holders? Is it value? Is it perception? Is it when the card came out, it was all over Twitter and X for social media for 5 weeks? Was it we have a bunch of followers in the hobby, people that I don't want to say kids because old people collect and I collected, but is it just everybody's talking about this, so I need to anchor to this as kind of, or is it simply a lot of people got that card, they were in it for it was a promo, they were in it super cheap from Pokemon Center. Hey, I'll pay $25, and it's like great, I had a huge come up. I'm into this card. Like of the 46,000 that got graded, are 30,000 of those people that are only in it for the $50 they spent on Pokemon Center. They got that in the mail, right? They sent it in, they paid $25, and it's like, yeah, I'm in this card for $75, and now it's worth $2,000, and
I think it's a combination of things, right?
Yeah.
Like, because if something becomes a big enough deal,
yeah,
it doesn't matter anymore, like, how good the card is. Like, let's look at Astral Radiance. The Machamp out of nowhere became like the big hitter in that set.
Sure.
Lost Origin, the Aerodactyl blew up.
Yeah.
Nobody, because Pokerep couldn't pull it or whatever. And then you have like the Greninja from Twilight.
Yeah.
Nobody really liked the art on the Greninja card. Like it's not a great Greninja card, but for no reason not whatsoever, one day it was suddenly a $300 card.
In addition, is this because it was a collab and other people got involved in Pokemon, I just look at it when it was released. It was released before Temporal Forces Building Battle Stadiums. So it's promo number 85. So the Temporal Forces stamped promos are 89 through 92. Is this the leading indicator that the Pokemon market was about to blow up? That people were taking a card that they could receive for free and flip it for $500? It doesn't line up with Surging Sparks. It doesn't line up with Prismatic from a release standpoint. But
let's talk about the Gengar from Ascended Heroes, just because it's a little bit newer.
yeah,
we made a little segment about this a week and a half ago about some Ascended Hero cards that 3 weeks after release, the pricing was actually going up relative to some recent comps.
Yep.
Gengar wasn't on the list. You had the Dragonite on the list. You had the Zoroark.
Zoroark.
Yeah, thank you, on the list. And what was the last one? There was one more. Oh, the gold Charizard.
Charizard. Why? Yeah.
Gengar was not on that list. This was just 10 days ago. Now they're on the list, and so market price for the Gengar is $829, but the lowest listed is $930. So you've got a $100 increase on the Gengar, and this is you've had 3 weeks for that card to kind of trickle down.
I was just going to say,
very limited packs with the 3-packs, but still.
January 30th it released. Today, as we're recording, is the 17th. There have been 19 sold on TCG Player. That's right around one a day, right? And the highest amount sold on any given day has been 3. And yeah, the market price is $814. So we saw the down. We saw the down happen. But now, if you were to go buy it, I mean, yeah, you're spending $935.
You probably can't count Ascended Heroes as a normal set in the data. This is an outlier set because of the limited pack capacity that hit. But we don't have the data, but my intuition says that if you looked at any card that has came out 3 weeks after release, this Gengar card is the highest market price 3 weeks post-release out of any card. I think the Umbreon was like 900, 1100. The Umbreon might have given it a run for its money in terms of 3 weeks after release, still being, close to $1,000. But compared to like other chases on the Rockets Mewtwo or the gold cards from, the Victinis and the Zekrams from Black Bolt, those weren't pushing $900 3 weeks after release.
Yeah.
And so this one's still tough.
I'm looking at the Umbreon and trying to see. Yeah, the Umbreon, when you look at the 1 year trend of it, it started high, $1,500.
Yep.
And then it was higher 3 weeks post release. It was above $1,000, but it just kept going down, and it bottomed around $840.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens with this Gengar card over the long tail of things.
Yeah. One other card I want to throw up before we hit into Tinker Time is older card. It's the Alt Art Guardian and Gardevoir and Sylveon GX, classic tag team. And the only reason I wanted to bring this up was this is a specific instance of a broader thing. In the middle of the summer, we were trying to secure quite a bit of tag teams. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And as we were trying to navigate through and negotiate through purchasing multiple tag teams, we came to the realization that TCG Player Market was not a good indicator of what the market value was for these. And so this is not this card and these cards in particular, the Alt Art tag teams. Generally, the velocity is so low on TCG Player that the real value is really what you can negotiate through.
Yeah. If your goal is to collect unique things, it's like, hey, I collect this and not very many people collect it. That's where you want to go. Find the value on. And the other thing is look at the price per pack ratio compared to the PSA 10 ratio of the chase card.
Correct.
So if you have a tag team pack that's $300 and you look at the 10 Latios, you're looking at a 30 pack to PSA 10 price.
Yeah.
If a tag team pack is $250, you'd have to buy 30 of them, right? You're not going to get a PSA 10.
Correct.
Versus
you're not even going to get the hit, let alone have it be a PSA 10.
Yeah, so Destin Rival, you can buy a pack now with $8-9, and the PSA 10 is what's the price of a 10? Let's say $1,000, $1,200. So if you kind of look at it that way, you're trying to find value, and so being a collector where you find the most optimal value compared to if I was collecting during that era, buying packs during that era, would this be a bargain find?
Yeah.
And some of those Sun and Moon ones, I think, it still is a bargain
As
find.
opposed to Dragon Majesty, which is not.
Yeah, there's nothing.
Yeah, there ain't nothing in there unless you're into rainbows. All right, let's do some Tinker Time. What's our question here for Tinker Time?
Tinker Time! Alright, so Pokemon recently revealed manga-style products.
Okay.
A new product line at EUIC, which, if you're not familiar with One Piece, they have manga-style cards. I just want to get your guys' thoughts. Do you think Pokemon is going to start adding manga-style cards to the TCG? And if they do you also think Pokemon might consider serialized cards one day, which I think would be an utter disaster? But your thoughts? Go.
So, I'll bring it home. The mangas from Pokemon is what was the introduction to Pokemon for my family. We didn't watch the anime. We didn't watch the cartoons. My kids went to the public library, and they saw Pokemon, and they grabbed every single book, and they read them. And so my kids can tell you the reason behind why Giratina is who he is and who Arceus and Dialga are based on the lore of the mangas. And so if there was a manga card of the Beldum line, that happens to be my oldest favorite, I think he would probably freak out. Like, he would flip out. He would want to have that. If it's a whole set, I think that is better. Once again, back to the price point and availability for people to be able to get their hands on the product. If it's a one-off chase card, I think you just lean into hyping a set and then having the set win or lose by one card. As an example, let's say they announce manga cards being released, and let's say that the manga is Buzzwole. Right? Do you know who that is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's say it's Buzzwole. That set sucks.
Faramosa and Buzzwole.
Yeah,
tag team.
But that set sucks if it's Buzzwole, right? As opposed to the next one that comes out is Groudon or is Lugia. If you had a Ho-Oh manga versus a Zygarde manga, the set with the Zygarde manga is going to be poor, and the set with the Ho-Oh manga is going to be amazing, or Lugia or whomever, right? And so I think you diminish the ability of a set to be successful based on what you make that super one of 6,000 packs or 4,000 packs or whatever however rare you make it. If they did a whole set that way, I think that would be dope.
I'm actually just eager to hear the news of how the mechanics of this is going to work. And so I've been seeing some of the fan art for some of these manga style cards, and it's like, oh, is that true? Is that actually coming out? Like there was the Pikachu one that you guys saw, that's fake, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
And they threw up.
There's no confirmed manga cards.
Yeah.
Every manga card you see on Twitter right now is just fan made art. It's not.
Yeah.
Real.
But people leached on to that playmat.
Yep.
And took that to think, and so we don't really know if it's happening.
We don't know.
We can neither confirm nor deny. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would think it would just be awesome if they did it. Because I've always wanted them to take have a set. People probably wouldn't like this holistically. I'm not suggesting that you do this all the time, but in a specialty set, I think it would be cool. I feel like baseball cards, sports cards, they do a great job of the 1-of-1s, the 1-of-5s. The Lord of the Rings had the special 1-of-1. Yeah. If you had a set, and in One Piece where you have a case set, like an SIR, you got like in Ascended, there's 22 SIRs, and you get an average SIR every 2 boxes, let's say approximately. So the chance to pull a unique SIR is 1 in every 44 boxes.
Sure.
Right. So that's kind of, just because there's so many different ones to pull, it's still a low pull rate. But what if you switched it to say, hey, this is a 1 in every 30 box? Just like kind of like One Piece, like Ollie pulled the card. That would be cool. I think having a super, super, super rare card within a set that has very low pull rates. Still put you got to put other good stuff in the set.
Yeah.
That can't be the only chase.
Yeah.
But going through what we just went through on the rarity, I don't know what that would do to the market. Would the market respond with that card being 10 times more valuable, or would it still only be like a, middle of the road valuable card?
Yeah. With serialized, if you did a 1 of 10 and you had 3 or 4 cards in there, or you even did, I think sports cards do this. They do like a 1-of-1.
Yep.
And then they take the same card and they do a 1 of 10. Mm-hmm. And then they do that same card, same person or whatever, 1 of 25 or whatever. I think you do that, you will have such a frenzy for people to consistently want to buy a specific set. Right? Because now,
not a frenzy already.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But as an example, Perfect Order, every set would always be a banger if you had serialized cards in it. And then that would give room for some third-party monitoring or even Pokemon themselves to step in and be like, hey, the 1-of-1 has been found.
Like
right?
If you did like an alt art of an alt art, you had the Gengar card, and the same artist did a version 2.0 that was slightly different, that was super more rare. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
As large as Pokemon's IP is, for them to do a serialized card, it would be, I have to imagine, more expensive than any other serialized card.
Yeah, I think it would be crazy.
Yeah, it would be nuts. Especially if they did like 1 of 25, but it incled all
So
languages.
I took this a little step further. We introduced the
manga.
I have a terrible time saying that. Manga.
The Magna.
The
manga. It's a manga.
What's the Magna Carta?
That's right.
Yeah, if you took that and then you layered on the serialized, so we took it 2 different directions here. But I think it would be cool. I kind of like that different art style. It's kind of like when the Japanese, they came out with the Eevee Evolution line in that little, it was just a cool little unique different
the Unigabas?
art style. Yeah.
Yep.
And everybody started chasing those because, well, number 1 is the Eevee line, but 2, it's just a different style of the artwork. And so,
but even those capped out at like $150, $200 most in a PSA 10.
They're still going up.
But yeah, I think it would be interesting. Usually Pokemon doesn't do what everybody else is doing. Usually they just do their own thing. That's very Nintendo. That's very cultural. That's very hey, we're just gonna we know what we're supposed to do and we're gonna go do it. They don't typically copy other people, but it would throw an interesting layer on top of being a collector, because now all of a sudden your sealed product. Think about your sealed product volatility on let's fast forward, a 3-year-old or 4-year-old product that has a card that's not been found yet. Number 24 or 25 is not found.
Yeah, it's in some sealed collectors. I
Right,
mean, that's
right?
that's a whole reason why
But
you
then
do it.
think about the volatility when that card gets found, and what happens if you
To
had a
the sealed
Unified
product
Minds that
pricing.
was like, whatever, $3,000, and now all of a sudden it's $1,400.
Yep.
It's an interesting
It's
additional
the
layer.
Willy Wonka chocolate bar
It is,
chase.
it
you
is.
know, the golden ticket.
It is, and I don't know.
But doesn't that sound awesome? Like every set, there's 10 of these, and it's like, hey, 6 have been found. And it's like, yeah, there are still hundreds. That would help collectors, because until the last one is found, right, it would more and more sealed would get ripped.
Yeah.
Like I would be sitting here owning 2 of those booster boxes that are $1,000 in my collection, and I'm like, oh man, should I open it? And I have some buddies come over, and it's like the justification for opening it, dude. And we would be talking, how many booster boxes exist even anymore? There's only 1,000 on the market left. It's in this box. Let's get it.
Yeah, the more people that talk about your hobby, I mean, that's got to be the goal of the high level board of directors.
It does have trickle down effects. Like that would be a side variable of them doing the chases.
Yeah,
is that now it puts pressure on collectors to rip stuff open, which, for better or worse, it could help. Even if all the chases were found, I mean, sealed product still always goes up in pricing.
Yeah.
So the less supply that's being held and hoarded would still help the overall global market.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool question.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Alrighty.
Anything else you got for us, Captain Jack?
Not today.
Okay, cool. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching. Yeah, looking forward to next week. You got any insight into what Tinker Time will be next week?
I'm gonna fix the mic issues.
Okay, fair. Fair.
Get to that later.
Awesome. Sounds like a deal. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Later.
We're out.